Hello everyone! Welcome back to World of Warcraft Shadowlands. This is probably not going to be very long unless I really get into a discussion kind of mentality here, but I wanted to show you guys a very important book that I had heard about, that people were talking about. It was data mined, and it contains lore that is very, very important. This is lore that really helps, like, it shakes up what we knew about the lore. Like, there's some very important stuff in here. And people have had full-on discussion videos about this because of the lore that is contained within this book that we are going to be finding here in Revendreth. So, I also want to show the location because some people may not know exactly where to look. I want to show you exactly where it is right now. So we are here in Sinfall, okay? If you join Venthyr, this will probably be very easy for you to find. You can see I'm right outside the area where you go down to the mirror to enter the Covenant Sanctum for Revendreth, for Venthyr. Ignore Mars here. You know, just him, just kind of being my bodyguard with a pirate hat. So yeah, right up here, this is a location called the Spire of the Unseen Guests, okay? It's right here. I'm pointing this out because I really want to help people know. Just fly to the Sanctuary of the Mad Flight Master, go up here to Sinfall, and then head over here to this big tower right here, okay? So now we're going to head on up, straight ahead, okay? Now there's another mirror over there. I don't know what that's about, but you go up this area. Now you turn left here and you go up here. Up these stairs. And you look to your left. And there it is. A lost journal. It is called Enemy Infiltration. Preface. A report written by an unknown hand. The signature upon the final page has been rendered illegible, I guess. So, listen to this. To our most wondrous and resplendent master, I am pleased to state that after a lengthy study of our rivals, I have completed my observations. Please accept this briefing in advance of my complete report, which shall follow forthwith. We anticipate that certain of our targets will be more challenging to topple than others, but each is prone to manipulation in different ways, and our agents have already woven themselves into their very fabric. This is, after all, the solemn duty for which you sired us. As you are fond of saying, once a desire is understood, it can be exploited. Enough prologue. Allow me to summarize our findings. In many ways, the Titans will be the easiest to manipulate. Their singular goal is to impose structure upon everything they see. Show them a force that opposes their drive for order, and they will be consumed by their urge to eradicate it. Their pantheon, so seemingly united in purpose, is vulnerable to fracturing. The Void Lords all but welcome us with open arms. They are so preoccupied with their 1,000 truths that they ignore the lies we sow in their very midst. I believe we can leverage their vast reach to position them as a foil against our other rivals. We remain wary, though, since they are observant of multiple outcomes. It is conceivable they could anticipate our coming. Similar to the Titans, the Naru and their keepers are singular in purpose. Their adherence to a linear path is an obvious shortcoming. They savor nothing more than being proved right. So if they believe they have converted one of us to their precious light, they will trust that agent implicitly. The adherents to life are the most insidious of opponents, perhaps because their nature is so antithetical. antithetical to our own. Still, we learned much from observing the link between their plane and Ardenweald, and we have high confidence that a vulnerability has been identified. Our operative has already gained the trust of her target. And as previously discussed, our position within the plane of disorder is proceeding flawlessly. Consuming fell energy is not a pleasant process, but a necessary one. The deception you have architected will bear fruit in the ages to come. As ever, we shall serve as your unseen hand. We will poison every host foolish enough to invite us into their midst. I remain, as always, your faithful servant. This is incredible lore. This letter right here has huge, gigantic implications. I want to remind you of something that Il'gynoth once told us. The cunning ones kneel before 6 masters, but serve only one. This, as some others have believed and theorized when we found this is about the Dreadlords. Things in this imply that the Dreadlords have been working on behalf of Sire Denathrius, as well as the Jailer. And if what this letter is implying is correct, the Dreadlords have been infiltrating each of the 6 cosmic forces. If you look at the cosmology chart for Warcraft, each one was addressed here. You know, the Void, the Light, the Fel, Order, Disorder, Death. Like, each of the 6 cosmic forces have been infiltrated by the Dreadlords on behalf of Sire Denathrius and the Jailer. And the implication of, being from Sire Denathrius is because of the line where he said, "You sired us, after all." And think about each of the different areas. It also, when they talked about the Light as an agent, that could very much be referring to the Nathrazim Lothraxian that we met in Legion, who was part of the Army of the Light. Now, we thought he was perhaps turned into a Light Forged. However, if this is actually implicating that he is actually still working on behalf of the Jailer and Denathrius, and was willingly able to take that. Now, the thing is, remember, if the Dreadlords are like the people here, then the implication of them being vampires, so they could actually be able to absorb different kinds of powers and elements. After all, they were able to do so with Fel for the Burning Legion. This has huge implications and ramifications that the Dreadlords have been infiltrating each of the 6 different cosmic forces on behalf of the Jailer to get more info and to be able to work their strategies and plans and cunning. Because we know the Dreadlords are cunning. We've known this for years. We've seen it. That's how they work. That's why they were referred to as the Cunning Ones by Il'gynoth. This is incredible, the implication about this. And I want to know if there are more of these letters somewhere. Because if this is just the beginning of this revelation, this little tease, this implication, that this is what's actually been going on behind the scenes and we never even realized it, that the Dreadlords were pretending to be only devout servants of the Burning Legion, but in reality they were actually servants to Death, to the Jailer and Sire Denathrius, and infiltrating all these different forces, including the Legion and even the Army of the Light, with other agents like similar to Dreadlords or other Dreadlords that have infiltrated, such as the Void and others that we never even knew about. Including this one here, Life. This I found interesting, because this also implies that there is another plane that is linked to Ardenweald, which goes to what some people were wondering about, is that the Shadowlands are the plane of death, but is there, say, a life lands, a plane of life, which this letter implies there actually is. The link between their plane and Ardenweald, the adherence to life, the most antithetical to our own, because of course they would be opposite to death. The wording for this is so good, with various little implications here and there. But this is what I find interesting. Our operative has already gained the trust of her target, which means there is a female dreadlord out there. No, it is not Jaina. I know that's what immediately some people are going to jump to it like, oh, that means Jaina. No, that's a Heroes of the Storm thing, not a World of Warcraft thing. But I wouldn't mind actually seeing that variance there to see like that there are female dreadlords out there working on behalf of Denathrius and the jailer here. That's what this is implying. If so, have we actually already seen this agent somewhere and just did not even know it? Remember, the Nathrezim are also shapeshifters. We saw this in Legion. They can be able to take on the appearance of somebody else. Now, they would stupidly do the, oh, you have accused me, and therefore I reveal that you have found me out. They would do that all the time. But what if they actually worked at getting better in terms of the, let's instead try to be a little bit more cunning and not actually just give our identity away and actually try to be, use some subtlety and such. I was so wanting to find this book somewhere, and I'm so glad I was able to figure out where the location is. Thanks to Nobble the Noble, he actually kind of showed us in his video recently, but I couldn't figure out where the Spire of the Unseen Guest was. But then I noticed in his video, I saw what looked like the Covenant table on his minimap, and I know this because I have the same thing when I'm in my Covenant Sanctum in Maldraxxus. So that told me it's got to be at Sinfall. So, again, if you want to find this book yourself and add it to your little collection, it's right here in this little tower here in near the Sanctuary of the Mad in Sinfall, okay? This is a gigantic lore revealing and implicating book. And I hope that Blizzard intends to take this further and do more with it. Whether or not this is something you actually kind of agree with, or if you think this is a retcon that you may not like, or, I'm okay with this, actually, because the idea of that there are bigger implications and other things going on behind the scenes that we never knew about. Like, if you're going to do something like this, do something fun, something cool, something awesome with it. And the idea and implications for this, that the Dreadlords have been infiltrating all of the cosmic forces, that it wasn't just the Burning Legion, but the others as well, or that Lothraxion is actually still working on behalf of Denathrius and the Jailer, even though he's a Lightforge now, that is very interesting. I hope they continue to go somewhere with this. So, that's the location of the book. That is the book itself. Others have made much more interesting and compelling videos about it, like Bellular. I think the video that he did about it, where he actually had someone do some voice acting to sound as if he was a Dreadlord writing this towards his master, Sire Denathrius, giving him a report about what's happened. I think that was a really cool video with really high production value. I encourage you to go check it out. Yeah, I'm very interested where they go with this. I will see you guys next time.